What's going on YouTube? It's Ben, and in this video, we're going to talk about making 10 grand in one day. What is going on, everybody? My name is Ben. If you don't know me, I run a recruiting agency, and on this channel, I like to talk about entrepreneurship, online businesses, pretty much everything in between, leveling up. And if you like those kind of topics, you should definitely smash that red subscribe button down below. So yes, this video is exactly about how I made $10,000 in one day's work, finding 3 people jobs. Now I figured I would break this down in a video for either brand new people to recruiting or current recruiters that are going off from an agency or corporate recruiters going solo that really don't understand the solopreneur drop staffing model and how much money you can make. So this comes from a pretty recent deal that I made. It was approximately 2 weeks ago from today. Late September was when the work happened, and just now is when I'm getting paid. So late September, I get a call from a client that I work with pretty much every single month, letting me know that they need 2 new hires. Same day, I get a call from another client that I work with every single month telling me that he needs 1 hire as well. Now, all 3 of these roles are logistics related. They're what I place for all the time, so I know them inside and out. They're super easy to place, and I know the market really, really well. So I was super excited to place for them. So these job order calls came in the morning. They were about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Right after, I put up about 2 Craigslist ads at $45 a piece, so $90 in for advertising. No big deal. So basically 2 to 3 hours later, my inbox, as usual, gets flooded with like 15 applicants. They all have the same qualifications: drive a forklift, warehouse experience, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty much the same thing every single time with these logistics roles. So probably about 2 or 3 p.m. the same day, I started calling and interviewing all of these applicants. Probably maybe skipped over 2 or 3 because they weren't the perfect fit, but I called almost every single one of them. One thing to understand about this is that for these logistics roles and other general labor type roles, I literally keep these interview calls to like 6 or 7 minutes because I actually only need to ask them about 3 or 4 qualifying questions to make sure that they're legit. Maybe a couple other questions if there's any yellow or red flags, and then I pretty much top it off at about 7 minutes in total. So all of these interviews were capped at about 7 minutes. So after I screen and vet and interview the candidates, I then have the ability to basically just set them up on a calendar schedule that I already have, that I already know that the managers are available for. So essentially, once I get off the phone with a candidate, I set them up on a time slot to be interviewed the next day or the day after so that they can get in there right away and they can get interviewed by the manager and hopefully get hired. Something super important in recruiting is speed. So you have to have speed and agility when you're in recruiting. The employer actually wants that person like ASAP, right? So they need them to drive forklifts. They need them to drive trucks. They need to do business. So when they don't have a person on board doing work, they're losing money because they're losing production. So they really value speed. So the quicker you can get them someone, the faster you can get them someone to interview, the better they like you, the more they retain you, and the more often they use you. So naturally, you can understand that these managers are super quick with their interviews. It's pretty much 30 minutes, in and out, one and done. They make their picks, they choose who they want, they give them a start date, bada bing, bada boom, and they're hired. They tell me the start dates, and automatically I'm essentially getting paid. So I have what's called 14-day net collection terms with these clients, which means I get paid 14 days after the start date of the employee. So as soon as they were hired, they pretty much wanted them to start the day afterwards. And that was approximately 14 days ago. That's why I'm holding a check right now for $10,000 for all 3 of these fills that happened pretty much ASAP, immediately as soon as I sent the guys over. So a quick little recap on how I made $10,000 in one day. So I got 3 job orders in the morning on a certain day. I advertised those 3 job orders. I interviewed and screened candidates for those 3 positions, sent them over to get on-site interviews. They got hired, and then Net 14 Collect went by, and I have a check in my hand now for $10,000. Total time put in on my end was 2, maybe 3 hours in total, and that would include things like emailing, checking resumes, doing the phone screens and interviewing, and then of course the invoice. Now, all in all, I'm pretty stoked that I made $10,000 in one single day. I understand $10,000 is not a lot of money by any stretch of the imagination, especially in recruiting where people make much larger deals. But my business is a low fee, high volume business, so I charge a lower fee, get higher volume fills, and that's how I make my money. So I don't want to make it sound like, hey, this is my Lambo video, right? But it is pretty cool to make 10,000 bucks in one day. Oh, and if you think it's cool to make 10,000 bucks in one day, you should definitely smash the like button just for that. You should also bear in mind that this deal went down amongst many other deals that were happening and are currently still happening with the same clients and other clients. So at any given time, I'm working with anywhere from 3, 4, or 5 different clients on job orders. They might be one job order, one client might have 4 job orders out for me. Doesn't matter, constantly working on different job orders because you constantly have to keep the checks coming in, otherwise you won't make money. And of course, like I said earlier, my business is a low fee, high volume business, which gives me more job orders, but I charge a lower fee so I get more consistent jobs. There's so many advantages and upsides to doing business that way, especially when you do start out, because you're going to be getting a lot of job orders and they're usually easier to find candidates, easier to fill candidates, and higher frequency, which means you're going to get paid more frequently rather than placing in IT where the fee might be $30,000, but you might not be able to collect that for 90 days. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely smash that like button and hit the subscribe button and the alert button so that you know every time I come out with a new video, which is pretty much every single day, which means I'll be catching you guys tomorrow. So until then,